Minuteman traffic, Young Yield 17 Dula off runway 21, climbing through 600 feet, departing Minuteman Southwest.
So at least once the engine starts, we get a little bit of ventilation.
Minuteman traffic, light spot, left south 121, touch and goes, Minuteman.
Okay, so we will, 21 is the runway coming this way, so we'll head up to the end of runway 21. Now we'll run through the checklist. Then we can take off. So this is your first flight in a light plane. Have you been in the commercial airplanes before? So you probably don't remember much. Let me turn the squelch down so I can hear you a little better. In fact, you might even have to get the microphone even closer.
Traffic, light spot, turning left phase, on the 21, touch and goes up Minuteman.
Yeah, that light sport is coming in for, he said touch and go, so he just barely lands and then takes off again. Okay, so at the end here we go through a checklist to verify that everything is as it's supposed to be. And let me turn mine on. There we go. Okay. Controls free. Flight instruments are still set.
Minuteman traffic, light spot, finals on the 21 Minuteman.
Flaps up. Trim. Put that back to takeoff position. Trim. We have 2 engine controllers and 2 fuel pumps, so they both get checked. That doesn't look like a light sport. Is it? Yeah, I guess it is. Not sure what kind it is. Didn't see it long enough. Okay. Radios are still set. Transponder canopy is closed on both sides. And I assume he's out of here, so we can depart. Minuteman traffic, Zenith 8 Hotel uniform, departing 21 to the north Minuteman. Yeah, the clouds to the south look a little problematic. All that stuff out there.
Still going up?
Yeah. Now we'll climb up, get away from all of the trees.
Management traffic light support departing the traffic pattern to the east.
And you probably, with all the engine noise, you probably have to speak up quite a bit so that I can hear you. If you can't hear yourself in the earphones, then I probably can't hear you.
Okay.
Southbridge traffic, Cessna 16177, downwind, runway 20, Southbridge.
Oh, I'm just looking to see how high these clouds are. And we'll head over a little bit up in that direction where I think there are fewer clouds.
Minimum traffic, Aero 3768 Tango, taxiing up to the pump. Turn that.
Sending the downwind for the traffic ahead is on.
Now earlier, yeah, we could still see Boston. You get a pretty good view of Boston off on the side there, right off the wing.
Okay, Unicom, are we now using runway 33?
There we go.
Cessna 16177 on base, turning final, runway 20, full stop, Southbridge.
Now, let's see, pretty soon we're going to fly not far from Hanscom Airport. Maybe we can see it from here. That's 495, the highway down below us.
Minuteman traffic, Young Hills 17 Zulu, 7 miles southwest, inbound Minuteman.
Yeah, the Hanscom Airport's a little bit in the haze. It's right off the wing, just into the haze off in the distance there.
Whoa.
Containment traffic, 2 Juliet Bravo on left downwind for runway 2.
There, that's better. The earphones, my earphones were in a very noisy mode. These things have a way of
Containment traffic,
changing what they're doing if you accidentally sit on them, sit on this little controller.
Jet 821 Lima Charlie, turning 10 mile final for runway 1.
There, now we're a little bit more out in the open. Did you want to try flying it a little bit?
Okay.
Okay. So, the way it works, when you pull it back, the plane goes up. Push it forward. See how little I'm moving it. The plane goes down. To the right, the plane starts turning to the right. But you don't have to hold it to the right. The plane will just keep doing it. And then we move it over to the left to straighten it out. If you go to the left more, it starts turning to the left. Then I'll straighten it out again. So give it a little bit of a try. It's a little rough today, but you can try it. And you want to be looking out the front all the time when you're doing this, so you know where you're going.
1 minute for more set having a bird giving you caution.
That's the idea.
Yo,
Which one you going in on?
they use a 20. Minuteman traffic, that's 28 Echo Juliet, 3 to the south. I'll be making a 45 to the left downwind, runway 21, touch and go, Minuteman.
Inbound Minuteman. Minuteman traffic, Skyline's departing, runway 21 Minuteman, straight up.
Okay, we don't want to go down too much. Okay. Yeah, I've obviously got the plane at the moment.
37 Hotel, 152,
You can take it back if you want.
making a left turn to the south, final call, Marshal. Minuteman traffic, Cherokee 9040, Juliet, entering
Yeah, that's the idea.
21 Minuteman.
As I say, one has to be looking out the front most of the time. Otherwise, you don't really know where you're going. It's very easy to get into a spiral or something. Out here, the weather is much nicer. There's few clouds are building, but it's not too bad.
28 Echo Juliet on the 45 for left.
I would say these clouds are up around 2,500 feet.
Wow.
37 Hotel base.
And they usually like to
040 Juliet, left base, 21 minutes.
keep it at, the Pittsburgh is saying broken at 1,900 feet.
Downwind, runway 21 Minuteman.
That's out that way where I keep the plane.
Traffic, Church 937 Foxtrot, mid left field downwind. Full phase forward to southwest. Minuteman traffic, Cherokee 9040 Juliet, short final, 21 Minuteman. Okay, short final, southwest 20. And Minuteman traffic, extra 28 Echo Juliet, left midfield downwind, runway 21, touch and go.
Yeah, it's starting to get busy over at Minuteman.
Southward traffic, 37 Fox space.
So, let's see. I think that's Lowell over there. You can see sort of a city out there. And just ahead of us, out that way, is Nashua and another airport. It's just a little hazy to see all the mountains up in New Hampshire. If you look very carefully, you can see a few off in the distance.
Minuteman traffic, Young Hills 17 Zulu, left downwind 21 Minuteman.
And Minuteman traffic, extra 28 Echo Juliet, short final, 21, touch and go, Minuteman.
So as we turn around and we're not facing as much into the sun, it's often easier to see where you're going.
Minuteman traffic, Young Hills 17 Zulu, left
By the way, these
21.
domes down here are MIT research facilities. They're looking up at
Crosswind, turn left, downwind.
their
This will be a full stop.
astronomy radio antennas inside the domes, looking up at the sky.
Whoa.
Minuteman traffic, 641 Golf, about to midfield, left crosswind on runway 21, Minuteman. Traffic, my downwind to Minuteman, we'll pass behind you.
Minuteman traffic,
Traffic, left downwind 24 Marshfield.
Often you don't appreciate how many little lakes there are around here until you get up in the air, and then you can see them all.
Going to do a crosswind to a left downwind from runway 7, props down.
Yes, most of them are not easy to get to unless you really know how to get there.
21 full stop, Minuteman.
And many of them were left behind when the glaciers moved across this whole area and dug big gaps in the land.
To the west, which direction, please?
And they filled up with water.
Minuteman traffic, system 41 Golf, turning left downwind, 21 Minuteman. Robin House traffic, 26 on traffic, 0 crosswind to a left downwind, 127, props down.
Oh, the little hill, well, it's a little bit more than the hill out there. That's Mount Wachusett, the downhill skiing area.
Down from the west, which direction?
Marshfield traffic, Grumman turning left downwind, 24, number 2 to land, at Marshfield.
Minuteman traffic, system 41 Golf, left base, 21 Minuteman. Center traffic, and 67 to the west, down to the left base, runway 6.
And this is something that you might find interesting. Another thing that you can't usually see when you're on the surface, but this is a big quarry where they're digging out stone. A giant hole in the ground. They've been digging there for years.
Minuteman traffic, system 41 Golf, turning final, 21 full stop, Minuteman.
Marshfield traffic, Grumman turning left base, 24 Marshfield.
Robintown traffic, 0 turning left base.
So now we head back in the direction of the airport. Airports are often, little airports are often very hard to find from the air, unless you really know what you're looking for. So, be interesting, you tell me when you first see it. In some ways, Minuteman's one of the harder ones to find since there are trees on both sides of it. Hides it a little bit.
Minuteman traffic, Archer 300 Tango, departing runway 21, Minuteman.
So you ought to be able to see the airport from here. It's a little bit more forward.
I think I see it.
Yep. So we're going to fly across the airport and then turn around and do a downwind. So you sort of approach an airport in a square pattern.
5.
You fly downwind, that's along the runway in the opposite direction, then fly a base and final into the runway.
We're on a 10-mile.
And that way, if everybody does the same thing, then you sort of know where to look for other airplanes close to the airport.
Yeah.
Minuteman traffic, Aero 68 Tango departing 21 to the east, Minuteman.
So very shortly I'll turn crosswind, that's going across the airport, and then we'll fly the downwind, that square pattern to the airport.
Is that the airport over there?
That's right. Minuteman traffic, Zenith 8 Hotel Uniform, left crosswind for 21 Minuteman. We have the departing traffic.
Down traffic, Twin Cessna 266 is a 5-mile right base, runway 7, T-Town. Hotel traffic, Cessna up to 1
Minuteman traffic, Zenith 8 Hotel Uniform, left downwind 21 Minuteman. And we'll put down some flaps which allow us to fly a little slower and also act as air brakes to help slow the plane down when you descend on final towards the runway.
Are we gonna start going down soon?
Yeah, well, this is base, so you lose a little altitude on base, and then you go down to the runway on final. Minuteman traffic, Zenith 8 Hotel Uniform is left base for 21 Minuteman.
Minuteman traffic, Skylane is 3 miles south, crosswind for runway 21 Minuteman. T-Town traffic, Twin Cessna 266, we are 2.5 miles final runway 7.
And Minuteman Zenith 8 Hotel Uniform is final 21 Minuteman.
And marker traffic, Warrior 44949, 5 miles to southwest, 45 0 down, 24 miles.
Now we have arrived. I'll open this up a little bit to increase the ventilation.
Minuteman traffic, Skyline is left downwind, runway 21, Minuteman.
And Minuteman, Zenith 8 Hotel Uniform is clear, 21 Minuteman. I swear that pile of dirt keeps growing. It seems bigger every time we come here.
Minuteman traffic, Skyline is turning left base, runway 21 Minuteman.
And let's see if they, it looks like they left my parking space. That's good.
Minuteman traffic, Skyline is turning final, runway 21 Minuteman.
Fuel pressure low.